Hey everybody, I'm Monty Mont.
I'm Tiff.
And I'm Angie Fisher.
And these
are a few
of our favorite
things.
Yo, you ready for Mon Tiff? Let's go!
Never kept up with the latest. Never tried to be the greatest. But let's be honest, yes, we want this. Oh.
You guys, welcome to the show. Had a couple of intros we had to do, but y'all ain't gonna worry about all that. Y'all ain't gonna see that to the bloopers. But we have a great show for you guys today, and we have an amazing guest on the show. First of all, Tiff, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's good. It's good to be here. It's good to have another show, and I don't know. I'm just excited. You guys, our guest today. I want to say it like this. You know, you hear some people sing, right? And then you hear some folks on the albums and stuff and all of that. But I heard her, at least the first time I heard her singing a solo, I believe, was live. Now, okay, here's the thing. Y'all know, Tiff, singing live, that is not the same thing as on the record with the production and the tricks and all of that stuff. And I remember just I was so blown away. And we were at a little function. It was for Erica at Erica's thing. And I said, man, I've got to at least get her information to let her know if I want to be on the show. Now, I wasn't smooth with it because she was getting in the car.
You were practically like running after her, weren't you?
I ran all up on the car. I said, hey. I was so embarrassed, like, bro, relax. But I had to because she killed it. Today on the show, we have Miss Angie Fisher. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm having a good time already.
We're so happy.
It's been good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for being on with us. So we're gonna jump into a lot of things with Angie, but we're gonna do one of our old school kind of shows. Sometimes we do lists, sometimes we talk about movies, but the show is called Our Favorite Sings. It's called that for a reason because we like to know what is some people's favorite songs. Now, let me tell you another reason why I already love Angie and we already close best friends. She picked one of my all-time classic favorite songs. I mean, it is amazing. So we're going to break down very quickly by Donald Lawrence, When Sunday Comes. That's what Angie picked. So Angie, I just want you to give us what made you go with that song. What is it about that song that you love?
Well, Daryl Coley was he's no longer living, God rest his soul. But it's the song, but it's also him delivering the song. Mm-hmm. You come across certain singers that are just true to the craft. And Daryl Coley was one of those singers that was consistent vocally. He was anointed.
No.
Yes.
And he was pretty much untouched back then. You know, you had great singers, you had great choirs. Back then there were choirs. Yeah. But he just was a vocal master. Like his vocal ability was unmatched. And the song itself, When Sunday Comes, is just I look at it as, you know, when that time comes for God to call his people home, there won't be any more weeping and hurting and sorrow and, you know, the little things that we think about while we're on earth about, God, how am I going to pay this bill? Or I got this coming up. I have the mortgage. I have rent. I have all this stuff that I'm thinking about. I got to take care of kids. I got to go to the grocery store. I got to, you know, it's like all these things that you have to deal with while we're here and while we're in our human form that we just have to deal with on a regular day basis. But when that time comes for us to be caught up, there's not going to be anything but praising and worshiping the Lord on one accord. And so that's what that means when Sunday comes. When that time comes, no more pain, no more disease, no more nothing. Like it's going to be a glorious time where we'll be able to meet the Lord and worship him in spirit and in truth for the rest of our life. And so that is a blessing, and that's a true testament to the song itself. And Daryl Coley literally, that's actually one of my favorite songs. He delivered that song. Not too many people can sing that particular song because it's a very hard song to sing.
Yeah.
You got to deliver it, but you got to come with the anointing as well.
Oh, yes.
You can sing and sound great, but when the anointing is present, things happen. And we all know about that. So that's why I love that song so much.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a reminder of what's to come.
Tiff,
That trouble does not last always.
It doesn't.
Oh,
And weeping and we may endure for a night, but joy definitely comes in the morning.
Yes.
And we can stand on that. We can stand true to that and lean on that when we are discouraged or are having a bad day. You know, this too shall pass.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You know, it's not forever. So yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so and again, so she brought up a great point. It's Daryl Coley who was the originator of that song, and then Donald Lawrence is someone who redid it, I think, in about maybe 2003, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Okay. Perfect. That is a great song. I love that song.
Tiff,
that's a beautiful song.
First heard that song? Do you remember when you first heard When Sunday Comes?
You know what? I actually heard, I didn't know who sang the song, but I was in church and there was someone that sang it in church, and I was just really like blown away. And then after that, I went searching for the song and I realized that it was Daryl Coley, and I added it to my playlist. So it's been one of my favorites ever since.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So Angie, I want to ask you then, because vocally that song is, like you said, can't everybody just jump on that one? If you're gonna do it right. And just when you first heard Daryl with Donald and them and do that, I mean, as a singer, what did you just feel like, man, I don't know about that? Like that might be, well, probably not for you, but I know for some singers it was intimidating, but I probably wasn't for you.
It's intimidating for me. Like it is intimidating. Like there's songs that I just will not touch because I'm like, and it's not so, sometimes it is intimidating. There's other times where I just know my voice. I know what I can do and I know what I can't do.
That is so hard to swallow.
You have to just know your limit. You have to know what you can deliver and how you deliver it. I know that every singer has a break in their voice. I know where my break is. And so if there's a song that is like real close to my break, I may not touch it. Because I'm not going to deliver it like I know I can because of, certain things that I know vocally, I'm not gonna be able to do.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. That's probably,
or I won't attempt to do, it all depends. It really does depend on the song itself. But I just know that particular song, I don't know. I've never sang it. I've never sang it. I love it. I love to hear. Oh yeah. I love to hear it. And I love when other people lead it, but I've never led it. I've never led it.
Hey, Tiff, can I ask you, you remember when Angie sang at Erica's thing? Remember that?
I want to just go on record and just say this really quickly, because that was very modest and humble and all, but it's hard for me to digest because I heard you sing.
That's what I'm saying.
And I don't mean to sing. Okay, I said it's with an A. It's a saying. I heard her sing, and so it's hard for me to like. What you mean you can't? Is there something you can't touch? I will be fine if you just sang the ABCs. I don't understand that. But Monty, you were there. We were in the same place.
Okay. Now, Angie, I'm a modest musician, okay? And when you sang that night at Erica's, you went up at least, I think you went up like keys just on whatever that's. I can't remember the song you were singing, but I just
It
kept.
was oh goodness, I'm sorry. I can't. I just drew a blank.
Is it Love is Enough?
No. It's in my head. Hold on. What's the title of it though?
I can't remember the.
All I Need.
All I Need. Yes.
All I Need. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
it just kept going up and up, and
I do mean.
So I don't know, man. We might need you to try that Sunday Comes at some point.
I wouldn't mind singing that song. I just never touched it, but there's just, I love it, that song, so I wouldn't mind singing it. I've just never done it, but there are other songs that I just know like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
Wow.
Tiff, let's get into our questions we have.
Not a problem. Okay, so I have to know this. When did you first start singing? And when did you really know, not that you could sing, but that you could sing? When did you know it's like, oh, I can sing.
That's a good one. Actually, I've been singing all my life, right?
Okay.
And I'm a PK, so I was raised in church, sang in church. I did the whole nine. But to actually know when I could really sing, God, there's been so many situations where I think I knew I could really sing, not so much me vocally, but just the reaction of other people that made me think oh, okay, well, this keeps happening, people are coming up to me and they're crying, and there's, people are saying thank you, and that you don't understand. I remember I was in rehearsal. This one thing I'll never ever forget. I was in rehearsal one day, and this was actually choir rehearsal. And I came in a little bit late because I was in rehearsals, because I used to travel and tour a lot with other artists. But this one particular day, I came in a little bit late. And so I sat towards the back area, and I sat behind this lady. The director was giving everybody, the altos, the sopranos, and the tenors, he was giving everybody their notes. And so when it came time for our section to sing, he was, okay, singers, sopranos, sing out. So I'm singing, we're all singing. Our section is singing out. And as soon as I started singing, the lady that I was sitting behind turned directly behind me. And she just looked at me. She didn't say anything at that time. She just looked at me, but she gave me this really piercing look. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why is she looking at me like that? What happened? I'm just singing a song. So after rehearsal, she comes up to me and she's crying. Wow. She says, thank you so much. I could not hear out of my left ear. Now I can because of you.
Wow.
And I knew then, I said, well, it wasn't me. It was the power of God that did that. But I knew then that there was healing in my voice. And I take it I don't take it lightly. This is like my baby. I care for it because it's something that God has entrusted in me to do. But I didn't know that then. Of course, I'm just singing, but that was one particular situation that happened where I was like, okay, God, you're revealing some things to me that I did not know before, and I have to really walk it out. Wow. So I think it was more so the reaction of other people that made me think okay, I have something special and I have to really take care of it. So that's probably what made me feel okay, I can sing. I can really sing.
Wow, that's an amazing story. That's to have somebody.
Thank you.
I mean, wow, that really, it truly is a gift from God. So I want to ask you then, aside from Daryl Coley, are there any other people who are a big influence on you coming up as you listen to people and learned your own voice, learned your instrument, if you will, the people that you listen to and not maybe try to just mimic, but got some things from and learned some things from?
Well, yeah, my parents played music all the time. They played everything. And I'm glad that even though my dad was a pastor at that time, back then, he always he always played music in the house. He had the record player and he would just play records. And Kim McFarland is actually one of the singers that I absolutely love. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of her, but she was a gospel singer back in the day. And I mimicked everything she did. I loved just her voice. It was different, it was unique, and it was like, I loved her placements. The Clark sisters, of course, Marvin Winans. Just there's so many different artists that is Aretha Franklin, you know, Shaka Khan. Like I grew up with just music. Like people would always, and my parents was always playing music. I was always around music. Ella Fitzgerald, you know, Sarah Vaughan. Like, so there's so many different elements and so many different artists. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Manhattan Transfer.
Yeah.
Okay, so you already know. I grew up listening. My parents played stuff, whether we were in the car, whether we were at home. So I was able to, even though I was not, I hadn't developed my gift yet, I was still young, you know, so, but I listened to music so much to where I don't even think I knew that I was studying. I was studying though, because it was always around me and I was always listening. So if I heard a run or if I heard a little something, I would just do it, not knowing that I was kind of, you know, training myself in a way just to mimic other artists. But there's so many that I look up to, and these were artists back then that really sang, you know what I mean? Like, I respect the art of artists, of singers, musicians, but those that really played and really sang and didn't hold back. I love that, because that lets me know you're giving your all and you're vulnerable in giving of your gift. So I respect those artists before me that really just didn't hold back and really just said, hey, I'm here and I'm gonna do my thing, you know, and I loved it. I love it. And that's the difference between now and back then. Even though there are great vocalists now that are really singing and singing great, and I have much respect for them, it's still a different time, day and time than it was back then, you know, so yeah.
Absolutely agree. How has going through the ups and downs in life shaped your ability to minister through music?
Just, I know for me, I've learned to just embrace the process, embrace change. Life is not easy. You know, you go through life and you think that it's going to be a certain way and it's not. There's always something that happens. And you have to learn how to deal with those situations the best way you know how. And I know for me, I pray every day. I'm a praying woman, but I think positive and just really I can't control everything. You know what I mean? So if I can't, whatever I can control, that's what I can. Whatever I can't, I say, you know what, God, I give it to you. You're going to have to do, because what I'm not going to do is drive myself crazy. So, you know, I refuse to drive myself crazy, you know, and that's just my process. Embrace the process, embrace where you are, accept where you are. And I'm a realist. So whatever it is, it's like, okay, here we go, you know, and you roll up your sleeves and you just say, okay, I'm gonna take the bull by the horns and I'm gonna handle what I need to handle, you know?
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah.
That's as real as it can get. That's definitely a realist take on that.
Yeah.
So guys, if you don't know, I mean, Angie has worked with literally some of the all-time great artists, and I mean, just her credits are unbelievable. I want to know, with all the people you've worked with, you know, I mean, the Bible says that your gift will make room for you and will bring you in. So in doing that, are there any just kind of special? I'm sure they're all great. I'm sure it's a dream to do what you love, you know, and be a blessing to people. But are there any special moments with somebody you work with, or a special something that sticks in your mind that really is memorable to you?
There's a lot, so many. One memorable moment is when I had the opportunity to work with Michael Jackson. I sang backgrounds on, I don't know if you remember the song, They Don't Really Care About Us. And so it was.
Are you serious? Yes.
Okay, well,
I
don't
think
know.
I remember.
Well, yeah, so I sang on that particular song with a group of singers. Well, let me go back. I started singing professionally with All God's Children. This was a gospel group that was made up of about 23 kids. It was, the ages ranged from like 7 to like 17. And so Lou Adler was the executive producer for that choir. And it was a mixture of different nationalities, and we sang everywhere. We traveled everywhere. And we actually did an album. And we opened up for the Stellars one year. We sang on Bobby Jones, a few times. It just kind of really, I had a great experience. So from that, there were opportunities that Lou Adler and his team would send certain singers within that choir to do certain other jobs, whether it be commercials, whether it be, doing a TV show, an appearance on a TV show, or singing backgrounds, or doing a studio session for another artist, big artist. So we had great opportunities, even though we were in this choir and we had our own thing. They still made sure that we had opportunities outside of the choir. Right. So it was beautiful how they just did it, and everybody had an opportunity. Even within that, even though I did Michael Jackson, I did an AT&T commercial as well with a few other singers within the choir. And I had never did a commercial before. So it was great because I'm like, okay, so this is how it goes. Didn't know about the union back then, but I learned about it, and I've been in the union for over 25 years because of that. So it's like they opened up and showed us much love, but also taught us the ropes of the business and the union and contracts and all these other things. And just we had a great experience, and I took that with me and I ran with it. So yeah.
And okay, so I'm gonna drop a couple names, okay?
Okay. Okay.
You're modest right now, so I'm gonna drop a couple names. So when we say she's worked with some of everyone, she's worked with some of everyone. So Michael Jackson, I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but Michael Jackson, Michael Bublé, Kelly Clarkson, Clay Aiken, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, some of everybody. So
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. Okay.
Yeah.
Being that you've worked with some of everyone, is there anyone that comes to mind that if you had the opportunity to work with, that you couldn't wait for? What artist?
I would say Clay and Kelly.
Okay.
Also Jamie. I toured with Jamie for 5 months. And that was an awesome, because they're all different. Each tour was different and brought a little something different to the situation. Jamie was funny. He had everybody laughing, and it was the Unpredictable Tour. I believe that was the name of it. And he had an hour of comedy. He did an hour of comedy, and then he did an hour of music. And that was our part. Like, we would come in, he had 4 background singers. I was one of the background singers. And it was a great tour. It was an amazing tour. It was professional. Everybody had a great time. Kelly, I toured with for 5 years. Wow. Clay, I toured with for 6 years. I toured and sang backgrounds for Keisha Cole. I have toured with Jennifer Lopez. It was actually like more so a one-off. I was out there for like a couple of weeks and we did a few shows. I can't remember everybody because I've done so much, but I've been blessed to be in the circle of what I love to do, and I've done many, many TV shows. I did the very first American Idol tour. That's how I met Kelly, because Deborah Bird, who I used to sing with side by side at church, she was the vocal coach for all of the contestants that year.
Oh, okay.
And so they were going out on a tour, and she was like, hey, they're going on a tour. There's about 10 finalists. I'm in charge of the singers. I need you. Would you be available to come on tour? And I'm like, absolutely. When and where? And tell me, I'm there. And so that's how that happened, because her and I went to church together. Wow. So it just kind of, but there's so many people that it's kind of hard, because I work with so many people. Even when it comes to contracting sessions, I worked with Dave Foster. I was his contractor for like 10 years, and I contracted sessions for him. So I've done, Seal, Celine Dion, Andre Bocelli, Mary J. Blige. I mean, it's so many. I can't even remember all of them, but I worked with Kirk Franklin as well. I was the contractor for the American Bible Challenge. I don't know if you remember that game show.
Yes.
So I was the contractor for that, for the singers. And I sang on that Bible Challenge show as well.
Angie, did you say David Foster?
Dave Foster.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Her portfolio was amazing.
Here's the thing. Angie know him good. I call him David Foster. She said Dave Foster. Y'all, if you guys don't know that name, look up Dave Foster. Oh my God. That's and real quick before I ask, but I gotta say too, I gotta give a shout out to Jamie Foxx, because Jamie Foxx had a big influence on me, even with doing this show, because I used to watch Jamie. I remember when he was on In Living Color. He was funny dude, but he sang once. They had like a Christmas special, and he sang and this Christmas, And I remember I was like, dude can sing a little bit. Yeah. And then he got his own show, and he sang the hook on the Jamie Foxx show. Yep. And I remember I told my boy, I was like, yo, he's trying to be a singer too. And my guy was like, nah, the funny dude. I said, watch. Yeah. I said, this dude, he is using his comedy though. I'm like, I bet he's gonna break out. And it kind of showed me how you can use one gift to open up doors for another gift. You know what I mean? And I mean, he had a #1 album. He won a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, he had #1 album, #1 singles. Like you could tell, like, and he really loves to sing. Like he enjoys singing. I remember there was a section in the tour that we did, the music part of the section, the section of the music part. He did remember when he did Ray?
Yes.
Okay, so there was a section that he did on tour, and he went backstage. He had finished the song, hurried up, went backstage, put like a blazer on, so the glasses, the whole look, the whole Ray look. Ray Charles look was just dead on. And he sat at the piano. People went crazy because it went from, oh, Jamie, he killing, he doing this thing. And he was like, and I'm like, wait a minute, he done changed up. And it was so cool, because when we were doing the rehearsals, I was like, oh, people are going to lose their mind, because they remember the movie, Ray Charles, Ray the movie. And so there was a section in the show where he did that, and he did it every night. And it was the man is talented. He's just talented. He can make you laugh. He can sing you good. He can, he's just that guy. He can act his butt off, and but he's really cool people.
Yeah.
That's what I like, when I can meet someone, they're talented as all get out, but they're so humble, and they're so cool, and they're so good to be around. Great guy. So that I will take that with me, and always remember that, because that was actually a tour that I had never done before. Normally it's like I go from one tour to the next, but I never really worked with a comedian, actor, singer. So that was different, and it was great. We had a great time.
You were nominated for a Grammy.
Yes.
Can you tell us, first of all, I want to know how that even felt, to be nominated for a Grammy.
That's funny. It felt surreal. It didn't feel, it was crazy how it happened, because I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't even thinking about it. But the crazy part about that is how it all started, with me meeting up with B. Slade, who's a really good friend of mine. I heard his song IRS years ago. One of his friends, who okay, so his friend that I met is friends with the producer who did the music to IRS. And Roe was a part of a group called Something for the People back in the day. This was years and years ago. So I met up with Roe because he had some tracks, and I was listening. I wasn't even signed yet. I was just kind of trying to feel my way as a independent, somewhat artist. And so what happened was I met him. He played IRS, and I said, I know that voice. I said, that's well, that was Tone back then. I said, that's B Slay. I know who that name, I know who he is. And I said, I want to, if you give me the permission, I want to record this song. And just because I want to challenge myself. I want to see if I can do it. So he said, let me call B and see if it's okay. He called him, and B was like, yeah, I'll send her the 2-track and she can record it. And it just so happened that it went from that to me meeting him. We went out and we met and we sat and we talked, and you would have thought that we had been knowing each other for years because we just meshed so well. And I recorded the song as a demo, okay, and got the ears of Aisha, who is Stevie Wonder's daughter, and she's the program director at KGLH. And she said, I love this song. I want to break it. I want to break the song. I want to play it now on the radio station. And I was like, it's a demo. Like, it's not mixed. It's not mastered. She said, I want it. And she had it. She got it. And they played the mess out of IRS, and was able to meet my manager at that time, introduced me to a few people at the Grammys. So I was able to sit down and meet with them and play the song. And then they were like, well, we know you can sing, but we want to hear you sing. We want to hear you sing the song. And so I sang it right in the office. And it was great. And again, that response of a couple of people crying, and it's like, I don't hear what other people hear. I don't, it's kind of weird, but I don't. So when people do that, it's like, I receive it, but I'm just like, okay, God is moving. That's how I kind of look at it. God is moving. And they were like, we love you. I signed up right then and there as a just to be a part of the Grammys, and that way I can vote and do all that other good stuff and be a part. And so that's how it kind of all happened. And then when it was time for them to be being considered as nominated, people were just, I would just send out, text messages, emails. Hey, you guys, when you have a moment, I would really appreciate it if you voted, But I didn't really, it just was not one of my things. I didn't become a singer to win Grammys. I love to sing. I enjoy what I do. So I just wasn't looking for it. I just was not looking for it. And then when I got the call that you got nominated, Best Performance, R&B Performance, and I'm like, nah, like for real? And I thought it was a joke. I really did. I was like, nah. And when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, I'm in here with Lettucey, with Layla Hathaway, with Antonique Smith. I'm just like, wow, this is unbelievable. And after that, of course, Grammys hit me up again. They called and said, hey, we would love for Angie to perform at the Grammys. And I said, nah, like, are you serious? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, it just, things were just happening so fast. And they just said, hey, we would love for her to sing. If she doesn't mind, we would love to have her, and she'll be a part of the ceremony.
Wow.
And so I performed on the pre-Grammy telecast, and it just kind of, and of course, Layla Hathaway won. She's a good friend of mine. I sang backgrounds for her too years ago. So I was so happy for her. So I was just like, hey, like we here because we love to do what we do. And I'm always cheering artists on. I'm that cheerleader. I'm like, hey, we in it and we love it. and I respect it, and I know what they go through because I know what I go through.
Right.
So when you can be acknowledged and be recognized for something great, I'm like, yo, you got it. And I'm happy for you. And she had been doing it for so long. Layla's been singing and been doing her thing for a long time. And she's just now, you know, the past few years or so, reaping the benefits of her hard work. So, but I was like, hey, I feel great. If they asked me to perform, hey, I'm okay.
Say less.
I said, well, thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. I'm in it. I'll do it. Yeah, so that's how that happened.
I mean, man, so last question. This has been awesome, just sitting and talking with you. Now, of course, so as we just kind of alluded to, you know, you sung backup for a lot of people, but you got your own projects as well. Mm-hmm. What is kind of more stressful, like when you're trying to work with the artist and help them with what they're doing, or is it more kind of nerve-wracking doing your own thing? It's like, man, is this gonna be right? People gonna like it? You know what I mean? Which one is a little more stressful?
I would say doing my own thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when you're singing behind someone else, you're just assisting. You know, you don't have to think about all the stuff that comes along with putting a show together, or, you know, putting a single together or a project. You don't have to. It's not. You know, you have pictures you got to think about. You got to pick which picture goes with what, and, you know, what outfit. And it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot doing it on your own versus just saying, okay, call time is this time, show up, and, you know your song, know your part. That's easy for me. I can do that in my sleep. Mm-hmm. But to be able to do it on your own and to come up with ideas for your own stuff, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I would have to say me figuring it out as an artist and me trying to do it on my own.
What is next for Angie Fisher?
I would say that I am just feeling my way, because I just moved 2 years ago. Me and my husband just moved to Vegas.
Oh, nice.
And so we're loving Vegas. I'm from California. He's from New York. So you guys are natives? Are you natives?
I am from LA.
No, you're from LA. Okay.
Yeah. Born and raised.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And Monty, where are you from?
I'm from Michigan. I'm from, you know, Midwest.
Okay. So, you know, we're here and still trying to feel my way. It's different out here. You know, because I'm from California, so I know how to move and shake out there. But out here, it's a bit different. So I'm just feeling my way, especially with this whole COVID-19. It's just kind of, you know, I mean, everybody's feeling it and having to deal with it the best way they know how. But you know, so I'm a newlywed too. So I'm just taking it all in. Thank you. Welcome. So me and my husband have been married almost 3 years. And so it's just, I'm taking my time, and, you know, I'm not rushing anything, just really trying to just figure out, okay, so how am I going to approach certain situations, because I act too. I love to act. So just feeling my way with that as well, you know, but just like you were saying, Monty, one gift, you know, your gift will make room for you, but there's so many gifts within an individual. One gift may outshine maybe another gift, but you're able to still maneuver and still use all the other gifts that God is giving you. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I sing. People know I sing. Mm-hmm. Some people know I can act. They've seen me act, but there's others that have no idea. So you know, so it's just all about feeling my way. That's all.
Amazing.
Man.
But when something does happen and something does occur, I will definitely let you guys know.
Please.
Yeah. For sure. Guys, this has been our favorite Sings podcast. This has been just a great talk with an amazing person. You guys, you got to hear her voice. Oh, that's right. So Angie, please let people know where they can find you and find your music and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, if you go to Angie Fisher, put in Angie Fisher, you'll definitely find me. My Instagram handle is Angie Sings, ANGIESINGSS, 2 double S. double S at the end. And then for Facebook is official Angie Fisher, and Twitter is same official Angie Fisher. And so, and all of the music that I do have out right now, it's on every outlet you can find. So, which is IRS Tragic. You can find all the songs there. And I'm planning on just adding more to, the catalog.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome. Tiff,
Yeah.
you got anything else?
Listen, I am just so happy to have you. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
coming on and chatting with us. I know we've been trying to get you on the show since the Ambiance celebration. So finally, I'm glad that you're here. And we have to get you in studio soon to come back
Yes.
and sit and chat with us for sure.
Absolutely. Let me know, and I'm there. Just like you guys reached out to me for this, just let me know, and I will definitely hit you back and say, okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Angie, we are even better in studio, I promise you. So just
it's all good. I believe you.
But, guys, I'm telling you, wait till y'all hear her voice is ridiculous.
Thank you.
It's unbelievable. She is a blessing, and much success to you. Tiff, appreciate you as well. You know where to check us out, and of course our favorite scenes. We getting you guys a lot of content. Tiff, I'm so excited of all the amazing people we've been meeting through this show, and just everybody that comes on becomes our fan. So we love it. But Angie, much success to you. Many blessings. We pray for you as well.
Thank you. God bless you both.
Thank you for coming on.
Bless you.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me. Till next time.
Yes, I'll see you around. Wherever you singing, I'm gonna be there.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'll see you there.
This has been a production of the Mighty Sharp Network. Executive producer is Monty Mont. Watch the corners and always stay sharp.